Yo, guys, how are y'all? Welcome in to Rover Sports. Buffalo Bills fans, the mafia that follows Rover Sports. Congratulations on an outstanding start to the season. The Buffalo Bills defeated a very stingy team on the road. It's very hard to go away from home and win a game like that. But it really wasn't even a road game because y'all are just. The fan base yesterday was absolutely impeccable. I mean, you took over downtown Nashville. You made it Nash-a-low. I mean, it was like there were so many Buffalo Bills fans. Even Sean McDermott said that he's been coaching a long time. He's never seen an atmosphere quite like that. I'm sure that in Miami, Dallas, and Cleveland, the Mafia is going to travel as well. It was a perfect combination. I mean, Nashville is such a great town to go out. Going down Broadway, hanging out with the Bills fans. It's the perfect place for fans, kind of like New Orleans. It's a perfect place for fans to all cluster together and support the team, the road team together. So what an occasion. And yesterday's game, it was an ugly game. I mean, I got to give a lot of credit to Harold Landry. He played a whale of a game for the Tennessee Titans. The Titans' defensive line, they have talented pieces on the defensive line. And then in the back end, they have Logan Ryan. I think they have Malcolm Butler. And they also have the guy out of USC, Jackson, Adoree Jackson. So the Bills they do have a good secondary. And I think that Cyprien and Kevin Byard, especially Kevin Byard, they're some of the most talented secondary players. So Vrabel is a defensive specialist. Him and Dean Pease are very good on the defensive side of the football. And Tennessee last year, or this year, has been a pretty solid defensive team. But I knew that with Taylor Lewan coming back, I knew it was an opportunity for Phillips to come into the game and really make a ton of plays. Now, Phillips is a guy that I think was on Miami's practice squad. I get him confused with the guy out of Stanford a lot. But he played a whale of a game yesterday. I think he might have had 2 or 3 sacks. And I'm going to go and read off to you the statistics. But before I read you the statistics, I want to congratulate you for going on the road to a very hostile environment. Or not a hostile environment. Those words were just cliche words. Sometimes you say cliche sentences. But going on the road and taking care of business in a game where it was 7-all. Josh Allen threw a bad interception. The offense is still very much a work in progress. You know, John Brown did have a big reception. Isaiah McKenzie had a big reception. But without Devin Singletary, you need balance. You know, Dawson Knox is a really good player, but you need some balance. And that's why Singletary needs to be like a number one back for this offense to roll. This offensive line, too, has made huge strides. Cody Ford, Deion Dawkins. Mitch Morse even was out yesterday. So the Bills were missing some pieces with Singletary and Morse, and that's why it was a very one-sided kind of offense with Josh Allen. But the Bills were just trying to get into Hauschka range, and with this defense, you need to score about 21 points for the Bills to win games. And Josh Allen, the stats might not reveal the story, but Josh Allen is so talented. The guy's 6'5". He's a great runner of the football. He's really, really tough. He has a short-term memory, and Josh Allen was able to lead again the game-winning touchdown drive. I think this is now 3 out of the Bills' 4 wins. 3 of these have been game-winning touchdowns from Josh Allen. The Jets game in week 1 when the Bills were down 16-0 and Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions in the first half. He has a picture-perfect fourth quarter and wins that game. Against Cincinnati, he struggles in the second half. The Bengals take a lead, but there's no panic, and Josh Allen leads them down for a game-winning touchdown. And then yesterday, Josh Allen led the Bills down for a game-winning touchdown, and guess what? They would have maybe even tacked on another touchdown if they had to, because they were gashing the Tennessee Titans late in that game. The Bills always outlast their opponents. They played for 60 minutes, and it was a defensive clinic. If Matt Barkley was in the game, the Titans would have found a way to probably win the game And also, Mike Vrabel down by 7 points with 4 minutes left. For him to kick a field goal from 50 yards out when your kicker can't hit the broadside of a barn and your kicker's 0 for 3, that field goal would have proven nothing in the grand scheme of the game. The Bills still would have ran out the clock. That was just an abysmal decision by a head coach that pretty much is above his skis in the National Football League. And Mike Vrabel is probably going to end up being fired soon. But this Bills team, I think 12-4 is in the cards for them. They're the best defense in the NFL. They're better than the Bears defense. The Bears allowed like 21 points. They're right up there with the New England Patriots. And that Eagles-Bills game is going to be fun. Carson Wentz is a big-time quarterback. Carson versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen against Baker Mayfield. We're going to see then Josh Allen take this Bills team. And if the Bills can get Cole Beasley, can get Robert Foster a little bit more involved, Dawson Knox, Lee Smith with a beautiful touchdown on a complete lob throw from Josh Allen. That throw was so funny because it was hoisted up so high you were even worried that the defender was going to turn around and have a chance to make a play on that football. But Lee Smith was wide open. And for Josh Allen, he can make the spectacular play. And he was hitting Duke Williams. Duke Williams was the real star of the game. So let's go ahead and look at some stats yesterday. But this was a game that I told you, Buffalo, that you Bills fans needed to have, because now the Bills have a much-needed bye week to kind of relax, to get this defense settled down. Then the Bills play the Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins they're like the driving range. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by a driving range? A driving range is when you're not out on the golf course, but you're out on the driving range. And that, for Josh Allen, the Bills can hopefully get a big leader early in the game, and then you can test out your passing concepts later in the second half. Try to get Josh Allen some confidence, because the Dolphins game can be like an extended practice, because the Dolphins offensive line is terrible. They're trying to tank for Tua Tagovailoa. I think that Josh Allen can get some confidence, and Josh Allen can kind of roll up over a bad opponent. And then Josh Allen and the Bills play on a very injured Eagles secondary. So I think Josh Allen can take advantage there of a weak Eagles secondary. And this bye week is also for the continuity. It's to look back at yourself. And it was tough to get separation versus very good defenses. And Tennessee has a really, really good defense. They have a very good secondary. They're a top 10 defense in football, and so are the Patriots. So you're not going to be going against Tennessee caliber defenses every single week. So for Josh Allen, it's important that he continues to roll. And this win was just huge to keep the momentum going at 4-1. Then if the Bills beat Miami, they're 5-1. Looking at the schedule then, that Eagles game's absolutely huge. So say that the Eagles and the Browns and at Cleveland, the Bills should at least split that and go 1-1 during that stretch. And then the Bills play the Dolphins and the Redskins again. So imagine if the Bills can have like another 4-1 stretch, where if they beat the Dolphins, they're 5-1. Let's say they beat the Eagles 6-1, Redskins 7-1. The Browns, they lose 7-2, but then they beat the Dolphins, they're 8-2. That should be your mark to get to 8-2 with 6 games remaining in the season. Your goal should be 8-2. I don't even want 7-3. I want 8-2 for this Buffalo Bills team. And that Eagles game is a winnable game, and I'm ready to see the Bills win that game. But let's look at Sean McDermott. Him and Leslie Frazier are brilliant. This is the best defense in the NFL. Statistically, I can even go and look up how good they are. But here are the stats from yesterday. Josh Allen, 23 of 32, 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. He wasn't overly impressive. I mean, he was taking the short completions. They didn't score that many points. The Bills' defense was amazing, so they kept giving it back to Josh Allen. And a lot of time, Josh Allen would stall at midfield, where the Bills were going to get field goals that proved to be very important. The Bills' offense was not good. I have much higher expectations for the Bills' offense in general than they just had so many opportunities. The defense was begging them to continue to get the ball back. They had so many possessions because of how dominant this defense was against Marcus Mariota. So the offense has got to do better. But Josh Allen, if he didn't throw that pick, it was still a really good day. The 2 touchdowns feel good. The completion percentage stats are good. TJ Yeldon had 4 catches for 13 yards. I knew that TJ Yeldon would be a good part of the passing game. Frank Gore, 14 carries, 60 yards is okay. But later in the game, Frank really had some nice runs later in the ball game when they needed it. John Brown, again the star, 5 catches for 75 yards. Cole Beasley made a huge third down conversion in the first half that kept the drive alive. Defensively, Jordan Phillips is from Oklahoma. He's from Wichita, Kansas, so he's probably a big Wichita State Shocker fan. And he is different than Harrison Phillips. But he was able to get 3 sacks, which is absolutely amazing. Darryl Johnson also had a sack yesterday. Lorenzo Alexander had a huge play. He had 5 tackles and a sack. Levi Wallace was phenomenal in coverage yesterday. Trey White doing his thing again. Jordan Poyer, and let's see if Micah Hyde got in on the action. He did. Milano, Tremaine Edmonds? Yes, Tremaine Edmonds played as well yesterday. So this Bills defense, as long as the good health continues, this is going to be a fun season. For the Tennessee Titans should get rid of Mike Vrabel. I don't think that he's capable of leading an offense. I don't think he cares about the offensive side of the ball. I think he'd be a really good defensive coordinator in the NFL. He'd rally the troops. But offensively, with Marcus Mariota, there's no progression. He doesn't really know how to manage a game and make critical decisions. And his team is very inconsistent from week to week. He's not one of the worst coaches in the NFL. There's certainly teams that are worse than the Tennessee Titans. But, I mean, if this thing doesn't work out in the NFC South or in the AFC South, you have to wonder about Vrabel's long-term staying power. And there could be better options that are out there. I'm pretty sure of it. So, alrighty, guys. It was a lot of fun recording this video. Congratulations to the Bills fans again. Couldn't be more excited. Their defense is great. Josh Allen is a gamer. He's the king of fourth quarter drives. He's a clutch quarterback. All he cares about is winning. He doesn't care about anything else. He doesn't care about stats or accolades. This team is very tight right now. It's a tight-knit locker room, and it's fun. And it is very fun. Taylor Lewan talking smack to these Bills. He has no room to talk. He is just maybe envious of Buffalo that he's not a Buffalo Bill himself. So, alrighty, guys. Thank you all. Take care.